right, everyone. Testing. Okay, there we go. Good deal. Sorry about that. A little later than I wanted to be. Welcome to August. Something in my eye. Welcome to August. Shifted my area around. I'm using something a little different. But anyways, welcome to August. Really delighted that you are here. Glad that you're part of the Hangout. Um, this hangout is going to be a little different than normal. Have a lot of things coming out with regards to Nintex and wanting to help kind of give you kind of just an overview of what's going on, what's coming from the company, what we're doing, and where we're heading as a company. So I wanted to provide that for you, as well as do a little bit of Q&A around some of the things that I've seen in the community. So if you give me a moment to set this up, I've been trying to get some things going. We've had a lot. This morning we had a couple of announcements about some things, so really cool to see some things internally going on. There is also going one of the biggest things that I can say. So got to do a little bit more house cleaning. Um, really appreciate everyone that's been involved, what you've been doing with regards to the community. For those of you that have been active on the community, thank you. Those that have questions and comments about the product, about how to do things, whatever, continue to use the community, continue to use the help.nintex.com to find out more information about that and how you can potentially find and do things. So really excited about that. Follow us on Twitter at eharris04, also at Nintex, also Nintex Partner Network. So those are some things, handles that you can follow as well. Facebook, YouTube as well. And things like that. We want to keep you engaged, keep you informed. We want to help you understand how Nintex is moving in a direction in the future and going from there. WPC was awesome. Had a wrap up from that a while back, but then also, so that's Worldwide Partner Conference, Microsoft WPC. Interact with a lot of partners in that. So that was a really good value add. And so we're gearing up for Ignite. That'll be in Atlanta in September. We're gearing up for that. So looking forward to seeing everyone out there that'll be joining us, and also seeing what some partners are bringing to the table regards of what they're doing with Nintex. So really excited to understand how you're transforming customers' lives, transforming work, and doing things through that. One of the things that, if you've been following Nintex at all in the last couple of months, you've seen some things we released on the Nintex Workflow Cloud. I encourage you to start thinking outside the box, and the box being SharePoint per se. Not necessarily saying SharePoint is going away, it's not, but think outside of the box. And when I say that, the reason for that is because the business process isn't tied to just SharePoint. 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of projects where we've kind of confined it to SharePoint because that's what the users had, or that's what your customers had, etc. But most of the time, it's not confined to SharePoint. People are using Box, to Dropbox. They're using another file sync and share system. They're using social media. They're using, I'm trying to think of different things, CRM, Dynamics, Salesforce, etc. And so the process is actually tied to all of that. SAP, for example, or even NetSuite and Oracle. So you have those things that are being used for your process, and a tie just to SharePoint is just kind of like restricting it, where you didn't have to go do something else. You got to pick up something, etc. And what we are looking at, what we're working on, is the way to keep that entire process automated. I'll give you a design canvas inside of an Nintex Workflow Cloud that allows you to attack or attach to different systems and run that accordingly. So just start thinking about that as you're going through. There's a lot. I've actually thought about a couple of scenarios, a couple, probably more like 10 to 15 different scenarios with things I've seen to help automate some of those things. So really keen to see how that goes. But without, I guess, without necessarily delaying the big to do here, or the big thing that I want to announce, and it's really bad because I actually don't have this wired up inside my tenant. It's not a good thing. I should have this wired up, but Since I don't have it wired up, I will kind of tell you about it, and then we can talk about getting it wired up so I can actually show a demo of this a little bit later. Let's go here and share, and I'll share my screen. Alrighty, so one of the things that we have just released, and this is a huge, huge deal. Luke is the product manager on it. He kindly wrote the blog for it. But one of the things we just released was Nintex Hawkeye, and it is for drum roll workflow analytics. Awesome, right? We've been hearing a lot of people asking, how do I get workflows? How do I understand what's going on in my workflows in my environment? How do I do this thing? And this is something that, I mean, like I said, it's very, very, very big for Nintex to do. Um, we've wanted to do this for a while, and the idea was to make it easy for people to get it, to use it, to do it. And what you can do is you can actually go to, if you go to nintex.com, I'm sure you'll be able to see this. You can click on, get a trial of Nintex Hawkeye. It is available as of the moment on SharePoint 2013. There are new releases coming out soon. Don't have the time frame on it. I'm going to SharePoint 2016 and Office 365. So not a bad thing, but we're looking at how do we roll these out and get those updates for you all. But you can get a trial of it. Hawkeye gives you reporting, gives you analytics, about Power BI enabled dashboards. If you have something different that you use for analytics and you want to still grab your workflow data, etc., and see what that looks like, you can utilize the OData feed to actually pull that data out. So this is something that I'm going to be probably writing for a while because of what it can do and what it can tell you. A way to get that into your tenant or into your workflows is to drag beacons. So you can imagine building out a workflow, and within the build out of your workflow, you say, well, you know what, I want to say that this part of the process, this part of the workflow is a manager approval. Actually, I should do that for a workflow I just finished. This is a manager approval step. This is an employee approval step, or this is, we want to test how long does it take to send and get a signature back using Adobe Sign or DocuSign Action, etc. What's that signature process, signature capture process look like? You can actually start to pull those things together to see here's what it is, here's what it looks like. So that's a really awesome thing that now allows you to visualize that. So, I mean, you have the reporting, you have those things in place, but now you can visualize that beyond just kind of building out some metadata metrics, et cetera, and then having to put that inside of Excel and then potentially build out a chart, et cetera. This does it automatically for you and uses Power BI, like I said, to do that. So if you know Power BI, if you've worked with Power BI before, this should be a easy kind of pickup for you to actually showcase, here's what I'm doing with Nintex inside of my environments. So pretty cool on that. Thank you, Luke, for getting that done. See if I can find something. I'm looking for another update. We also did a couple more things. As we said, release SharePoint Nintex for SharePoint 2016. That's out. So if you are interested in that, by all means, definitely, take a look at that. Log on, see how you can get access to it and download it. It is available. Another release that we've done is, let's see if I can actually find it. This is what I was looking for. Awesome. I did an announcement a couple of weeks ago, probably a month ago, on the Adobe eSign action that was available. I'll walk through that a little bit in detail. See, I'm actually looking for, trying to get my screens going. Alrighty. So yeah, walk through that a little in detail, and we're getting this thing to load up. Internet is slow. All right. So while that is loading, The Adobe Sign action is something that we just released, and the idea behind that action was to give you, the user, the ability to use e-signature wherever you are. Um, we want to be connected to the major systems. We don't necessarily have a preference on what you're using, based on budget, based on whatever. You have the ability now to use two major players when it comes to doing e-signatures, and that's something that we wanted to give you as an option, and we wanted to make it available and easy for you to utilize. I will be working, there we go, I'll be working with a few people to actually showcase this, and to show how we could do the document generation, using document generation to Adobe eSign, as well as document generation to DocuSign. So showing two different methods of how to do that. It's really nice to do. I've seen it in action, actually utilize it, and it's something that I wanted to bring more kind of awareness to, is the fact that we do have the Adobe Sign action available, and it allows you to route it to users, multiple users. You can also compile multiple documents as well, which is a really nice to have, to give you, you know, the option of compiling. So you say you have a signature page, and then you have two other templates with two different types of signatures. You can actually compile those into one push and get the user to sign all those as necessary. So really, really slick way to do that. The copy, I mean, not the copy, the action interacting with Adobe Signature or even the DocuSign signature on the mobile experience is really nice as well. Something that I was impressed by, and I'm not sure why a lot of people are still kind of doing these, you know, PDF kind of forms without the signature process. Whether you're in corporate, not corporate, but whether you are in, hold on one second. Whether you're in commercial real estate, financing, banking rather, if you're in, let's see here, what are some other industries? Finance, banking, manufacturing. If you have field service surveys, you have anything like that where you need to collect information, etc., and then you potentially want a person to just have a signature process on it. Um, these signature pieces are value add for that. And again, it's just one step into that document management, that contract management, or the lifecycle management of documents. That approach that really firms out that offering and makes it, you know, more and more useful for the customers to interact with. So something to consider, something I hope you would consider, and it's really nice, like I said, nice to use. So something I would love to promote. um, Part of this webinar, this hangout, is to just go through and provide some updates. It's going to be a short one this week, because of a lot of stuff that we have going on, and I want to actually prep for another one that's going to be a really nice meaty kind of hangout regarding a demo that I want to prepare for you all. But part of this was to go through some of the releases, the things of the products that people just haven't seen, haven't been made aware of, or just forgot, and need, you know, potentially get a refresher on. So why not use this for that? Nintex Mobile, we're supporting multiple accounts, or multiple accounts. We have profile options. So inside of the Nintex mobile app, you can set up a profile and then link that profile to multiple accounts. We're actually using it internally. I can't show you this because it's probably not going to look good. I should have a reflector on my phone for these cases. Let me see if I can do this. We're actually using this internally. We're eating our own dog food, yes. Probably can't do this. Let's see if that shows up. It doesn't show up because my phone is super bright. Great, awesome. Anyways, since you couldn't see it on my phone, there is we're actually using this internally. We are linking to Office 365 and SharePoint on-prem. So, and I was just going to show you both of those accounts. You can't really see it. Bummer, but not bad. But trust me on that one. You can link to multiple accounts. So if you have a hybrid farm, if you're using Office 365 for, say, an internet or whatever, and you have on-prem for certain applications, you can actually tie your mobile app to that, and then forms will be populated based on those, which is really cool. If you're using Nintex Live for any reason and you're wanting to use anonymous forms, that's one way to potentially do that. And give your mobile app, you can deploy the mobile app and then allow users to access that where they aren't necessarily getting access to, say, your internet or other forms etc. So something else that was there. See, what else have we done? Done a lot around the Nintex mobile piece. We can do one thing to note, and I believe this was out earlier. I can't remember exactly when this came out, but the ability to actually deploy from our own mobile enterprise tenant, so you can manage multiple distribution lists as well. I encourage you to really read the release notes for a mobile. And that will help. We also brought to you the Nintex signature piece. So inside of a form, you can have a signature block that allows you to get a signature, and they can sign directly on the mobile device. So an iPad or a phone, they can sign directly there. It'll capture that and post that into the form. Let's see what else. I am looking. Okay, awesome. My internet is like running really slow. Within workflow, one of the big things, and this came out with, we redid this again in 2016, made it just an embedded part of the product, the external start feature. This is the beginning of what we want to consider, or what we want to promote, workflow as a service. Being able to externally start a workflow from another system, Salesforce, Twilio, it could be Slack, Microsoft Flow. Dare I mention that one, right? Now, we can start a workflow from almost anything, and we give you an endpoint, a REST endpoint. You would just basically hit. You can pass some parameters into that, and that kicks off the workflow. It's a really useful feature. We've done some things. I'm actually using it now for a sales process where something happens inside of Salesforce, and I wanted to trigger updating a contract inside of SharePoint. Once the contract is updated with some of the information from Salesforce, it will actually then create the contract and email that contract over to a territory manager for signing. And once it's signed by the territory manager, it sends it to the Nintex partner for their signing. And then once that happens, it actually collects all that back, sends out a copy to everyone, says, here's what's been signed, and then it stores it back in the SharePoint and then updates Salesforce. It's a pretty nifty process, a pretty cool thing to do, and it's something that it's used a lot, utilizing Nintex to automate it, and the users are interacting in their own systems. This is the kind of cool thing. Users are in Salesforce doing what they need to do, SharePoint's doing what it needs to do, e-signature is doing what it needs to do, all of it updating and working automatically, automagically, as people say. So it's a really cool thing to do. We also did the print to PDF and forms that came out, and I'm looking. There was one other major thing that we did. And like I mentioned, the app deploy. So being able to do mobile device management via the Nintex platform. So some really major things that have happened. Recapping Hawkeye. Probably one of the biggest things that we've done. Oh, I can't forget. Obviously, this year we did the exchange as well. So Nintex Exchange. One of the projects that I worked on. But Hawkeye, we had Exchange come out, Nintex for SharePoint 2016 come out, utilizing features like External Start. We have a lot of updates to mobile and a lot more coming around the mobile, being able to support ADFS as well on the mobile experience. So multiple profiles, multiple tenants and environments, being able to support it via mobile. Another thing, the workflow External Start feature was there. I am trying to find one more thing. Adobe eSign, we've updated. We also are working on Nintex Workflow Cloud beta. So that's something else that is available, or that's not available, but that is currently in process. So we are getting closer and closer to getting our Nintex Workflow Cloud ready for general availability. Woohoo! I'm excited about that. What that opens up and releases for us is going to be huge. If you have systems that you want to connect and it doesn't necessarily run on SharePoint, that's something that you should be interested in. So keep your eye out on that. We've also updated forms inside of SharePoint 2016, or Nintex for SharePoint 2016. Forms has gotten a new one. We have the new UI within Nintex for SharePoint 2016, and a host of other like little minor tweaks and things we've been addressing. So really cool to see a lot of this happening. We are running our new subscription model, which should enable you to get more workflows done, understand the value of using Hawkeye to see that value of the processes and to work those things in and through. So it's a really good thing that we're providing here and where we're going. So I want to get into the kind of where we're going, the thought leadership piece here. As technology continually updates itself or continually improves and enhances almost on a daily basis, we want you to use Nintex Workflow to enable that as a business process. And by that, what we're meaning, what I'm endeavoring to share is that process again is not necessarily tied to just SharePoint. They're not necessarily tied to just business systems. We're starting to get into, or we're looking at, we're interested in machine learning, artificial intelligence, IoT devices, so the Internet of Things, being able, all this stuff is going to be connected. I saw a post, so really cool. I actually want to see if I can find that really quickly for you. I was actually like, man, this is cool. Seeing these little things that Amazon has been selling about the little stickers. See if I can find it on Amazon. One of our Nintex partners did this. I saw a tweet about it. I was like, oh, I gotta figure out. But this is where it's going. Where you can have like the Tide, you can reorder on Tide and do all these other things, which are kind of nice, right? So what about using the Internet of Things and tying it to an Nintex workflow? Um, so give me 1 second to find it, or at least look for it. IoT. Let me see if this will pull up. Not sure what this is actually going to pull up. Amazon IoT device. All right, so I'm getting close. Let's see. Where is it? I might have to look at it on Twitter. It was yeah, man, I wish I knew where that tweet was. But anyway, so I mean, there's boundaries to be pushed. Being able to do workflows, build workflows. We actually had someone test build a workflow using this is kind of cool, using their HoloLens. HoloLens to actually build a workflow. It was projected and they were building it. I'm going to see. I think I'm close to it. Yep, here it is. Awesome. Let's see. It's the Amazon Dash button. That's what it is. So let me get this and share my screen for you to see this. This is so cool. I need to find out what partner did this as well. As soon as that loads up, I'll show you my Twitter feed while that is loading. See here. Oh, there you go. So my Twitter, here you go. So really nice. Summit 7. At Summit 7, you know, how to hack the Amazon Dash button and create a Nintex one. Pretty cool there. I'm waiting on that to load from there. And so internet's been a little slow, but it should be pulling up shortly. But that's you know, here again, awesomeness on how to, you know, how do you do something, transform it and get it, you know, doing something completely different than what it was expected. Let's see here. Internet of Things, place it, press it, and do as you please. With the workflow, it's actually kind of interesting what we could do. I'm not going to take the credit for this one. I just want to show you where it is. It's if you go to summit7.com, summit7systems.com, and click on how to hack an Amazon Dash button for a Nintex SharePoint, you can find it there. We're also going to work on getting this. I'm going to get this loaded into the Nintex Exchange as well, so that you can find it there if you're looking for things. And see, let's find out what all can we do with this. As far as being able to automate some stuff. Let's say, what would you want to automate? What would you want to automate from, you know, a dash button? That's something that I want to ask everyone. Please feel free, tweet me about it, and let me know. I'm definitely, this has gotten me curious. You know, what do you want to automate? What would you automate with an Amazon Dash button and an Nintex workflow? Would it be, you know, check in, check out, or, you know, I don't know what it could be, you know, that the bathroom needs to be cleaned, that you need new paper towels, what is it around your office that you could automate around that, ordering, lunch. There's a host of things that can be done. If you put this in your car and your car had Wi-Fi, what would you do with it? This is going to be actually interesting. So that's a challenge for you all. It's a challenge for everyone. I'm going to place that challenge because I want your feedback on this one specific thing. If you were using the Amazon Dash button and you could link it to a workflow, what would you automate? Let me know. I'm curious about it. I'm going to start a Twitter thread on it. So feel free to chime in. Again, if you had an Amazon Dash button and you could link it to an Nintex workflow, what would you automate? Let's see if we can make something super cool happen that really transform how you and I work and how we do things together. Until next time, like I said, this is going to be a short one. Until next time, thanks again for tuning in. The updates on what Nintex has been doing. I actually didn't do my Q&A. I'm going to skip that one. But the updates on what Nintex has been doing, again, just released Hawkeye. We've also done Nintex for SharePoint 2016. Forms and mobile has been updated drastically. Still doing a lot of stuff within on-prem and Office 365 around workflow management. If you are trying to move to subscription or move to the cloud, check out our migration partners. I'm actually working on a resource for that, but check out our migration partners, AvePoint, Metalogix, and ShareGate as options. They are able to facilitate a lot of that content move to Office 365, so check them out, as well as a host of new things under the community. If you look up product release announcements, you'll find a lot of things out there on what we've done within our products. But the big call to action for today, the big one, the main one, and thanks Patrick Abel and Summit 7 for putting that out there. The big thing that we're looking for today, if you could use an Amazon Dash button to automate a Nintex workflow, what would the workflow do and what benefit would you have for it? Tweet at eharris04, let me know, and let's see what we can do between now and the next Hangout. Thanks again, and look forward to talking to you soon.